Hey guys, it's Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and I want to show you a project I'm working on this weekend. I'm not recording straight through on this one just because I'm limited on time, but I'll give you a little rundown. Okay, so we had this window well that we pulled out because we're putting a door to the basement, and to reuse it, we are making a silkie-mobile. Basically, what I've done so far, yesterday, I framed out the bottom here by putting 2x4s along the bottom part. There's little areas for bolts to go through along the edge of the window well. So I put a 2x2 on top and just screwed through it to the 2x4 on the bottom. Put wheels on that 2x4 that I had laying around for other projects. Took it off the other project, put it on here. I split some 2x4s and created a floor frame. So we have 3 pieces going horizontally there. I am putting these pieces in, and there's some along the wall, side there that I put in to nail some chicken wire down here, because the roost will go between 2 sets of doors. So these verticals, that's going to be a frame for a door on one side. This will be the back door where the nest boxes are. And then over here it looks very similar, except it's a little bit further inset. I have a frame for another door there. And we have the floorboard sitting upright right now because I got to put the chicken wire on the bottom first. I wanted to use 1-inch hardware cloth, but I went to the local store. All they had was 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch, and that won't work if you want the poop to fall through, as we learned on my other tractor coop, which I'll link in the upper corner here. But so I have a ton of chicken wire around here. Chicken wire is not great at keeping predators out, but this is going to stay with an electric fence. So I think I'm okay using chicken wire as the bottom on this side. And again, the roost will go across between these frames for the door. That'll give a little more stability for the end pieces, plus give them the silky something to sit on. This board is the floorboard. Get to the lighter side. So this board that's sitting upright right now is the floorboard. Is going to cover about 2/3 of this floor. That'll give Gus a place to sleep on that side with solid flooring, and it'll give me a place to put the nest boxes, which will basically, there'll probably be one right here and one right here. And again, the entrance to this is on the other side. This is just a nest box access and clean out access door. It is a pretty big door for nest box door. However, I just wanted to keep it even on both sides. So that's what we're doing. We're pretty much winging this as we go. Design on the fly, but it seems to be working out so far. Okay, so mini flock update. This is the main flock. They're in the main garden right now, doing a great job tilling, sorting through all the leaves, crushing some of them. That'll be helpful because they'll break down faster. We do have the 4 that are probably about 10 to 12 weeks old in here. See if we can find them. There they are. The little ones, there's 2. There's the other 2. They're hanging out in here. I first moved the nursery coop in here and put it on a tilt so they could slip out from under and start meeting the flock with a safe place to return to. I only did that for 2 days because I'm kind of in a rush here because we're leaving for Montreal and I didn't want my dad to have to take care of more coops than necessary. So trying to rush this integration a little bit. But they basically, these 4 basically keep their distance from the main flock. And the main flock definitely has priority over food and such. You just gotta make sure there's enough different food dishes and water, especially water everywhere. Because these guys will forage a little bit, just like the rest of the flock. but they seem to be doing well. They respect the bigger ones and they give room, so they don't really get picked on. In the morning, what I do is I just make sure I get out here at first light and open up the coop. Now, last night was their first night in the coop, and they did fine, although I had to catch them in their nursery coop and put them into this coop one by one. They didn't like that too much. Tonight will be the first night where I'm hoping they'll go into the coop on their own. Sometimes with these little ones, what they like to do is go under the coop and roost on the axle between the wheels. That can be a little bit of an issue, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'll let them sleep where they want as long as they're not on top of the coop. And then hopefully my house sitter will be able to not worry about getting them out from under this coop. But if anybody's trying to roost on top of the coop, you could just shoo them off. But we'll see how it goes tonight. If they decide to go in with the main flock, they're usually the last ones in when they're the youngest like that, because they don't want to get picked on. So they wait until it gets really dark before they go in, especially when they're just being integrated into the flock. You can see they just, move out of the way of the big girls and seem to be doing fine. The big key to integrating is having them have enough space where they could get out of the way. Because if they are right in there and don't have space to run, they do get trapped, and that could be a problem. The other key is to have them small enough where they're not too much of a threat. Like these guys, like I said, they're not going up and challenging the main flock at all. They're just giving them their space and kind of on the fringes, and that's fine. They're all under the coop now. So about 10 weeks old is ideal because they're fast enough to get away from the adults if they do start getting picked on. And they're more agile than the big chickens at that age. And they are small enough that they're not horribly threatening to the main flock, which is the goal. So 10 weeks is my integration time, 8 to 12, somewhere in there. But it seems to work out pretty well. So the hardest thing is just getting them in at night. Lucky, you playing with the hose? Yeah, it's bath time apparently. Okay, the sun is going down and we're getting there. In fact, the very last hole I was drilling a pilot hole for, the battery died on my drill, but these are interchangeable, so I got to finish it out. But on the very last one, so I got to recharge that. But we are completely framed out. We have the roost set up over there, over some chicken wire in the bottom to let the poop fall through. The platform on this side, now we are looking from the back, so we will have a door on the front and the back that are very similar, but the nest boxes will be over here on this platform, and Gus will be able to sleep on the platform. And the silkies, if they want to, can sleep on the roost. They haven't slept on a roost yet, but if they want to, they can. Hopefully they will, making it less of a cleanup. Now, one thing I am going to do on this platform is I'm going to put a board along there, and hello Helix photobomb, a board along the edge so that I can put the bedding a couple inches deep. On this end, I will put one nest box where Helix is, one nest box where the screws are. I might put a dividing board here and then another nest box here, and I'm just going to leave the back little bit unused space. That's fine. So we'll have 2 nest boxes. There's only 3 silky girls, so should be plenty unless we get more. But even if we get more, that should be 2 nest boxes should help. We should be able to have up to 6 hens using them. So that is the build out so far. We're on wheels here. It actually moves quite easily. And by the way, I put these angled boards, they do help with support, but I put them up just so I have something to nail to when I put the plastic sheeting wall on there. This end, the door will have that plastic sheeting along here, so it'll be blocked off. I'll leave a little bit open up top to get some ventilation, but this end will be darker because they like to lay eggs in dark areas. The other end, the door will be fenced instead of plastic sheeting, so they have plenty of circulation in there. And then I think on either side of the door I'll use the plastic roofing material, which is basically the same thing I've used on those coops. And the reason I'll put the plastic on there is just because I could cut it to shape. I'm not going to worry about security so much because they'll be surrounded by electric poultry net. If I had it out in the open, there would be a potential problem with animals being able to squeeze in by pushing on that here. But this way, I still have enough to nail to. It does help with the structural support. I'm debating putting some angled pieces on here, coming to the middle and at the top. But on the top, it's difficult because that's not lined up. Maybe on the bottoms. But I'm not sure if I even need it, because this is actually fairly secure. Has a little wiggle to it, but I'm not going to be pulling by this piece. I'll put eye hooks down here. I'll put them on both ends. And I bought a chain and some carabiners, and I have some extra PVC, so what I'll do is put the PVC, or thread the chain through the PVC so I can use that for a handle, and then I could use the carabiners to hook it to either this end or that end, depending on which direction I want to pull it. And with this setup, I shouldn't be running over any chickens, because if they're in here, they'll be off the ground. So hopefully that'll work. Mama's got her babies out in grass. Yeah, you gonna eat that dandelion? Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They were supposed to hatch today. They hatched yesterday. We have put the walls on the coop with doors on either end. This is the entrance for the birds. See the roost in there. There's chicken wire under the roost to let the poop fall through. This area hopefully will be for Gus if he'll take to it. On the back side, we've walled this in a little bit more. We do have a gap up at the top for ventilation, but in the back side is the nest box. And we can put two back here. And what we'll do is have it dark. So this closes and latches. And there's little eye hooks down at the bottom. So you can see there, and on the other side as well. So we can hook up a chain to it so we can pull it and move it where we need to. And that is our new coop.